We can draw shapes in a number of different ways, and here we'll work with the Shaper tool. And the Shaper tool is kind of an interesting, fun little tool. It allows us to draw basic shapes without actually being very careful about it. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll get the Shaper tool, and it kind of recognizes what shape we want to draw. So I'm going to get the Shaper tool, and I'm going to draw a kind of a square. I'm not going to be very careful about it, but I'll just draw a kind of a square shape. And as soon as I release my mouse button, there's a square. It defaults with a gray fill and a black stroke. If I want to get rid of it, all I have to do is click, hold, and kind of scribble across it, and it deletes it. And we can use these features to create some compound shapes. So I'm going to try to draw an ellipse, and that's not quite what I wanted, so I'll scribble across it to delete it. And I'll draw another ellipse. That's better. And I'll click inside the ellipse with the Shaper tool to select it. And then I'll grab one of the corner bounding boxes and drag out until I see some crosshairs that indicate it's a circle. There they are. So you can see how easily we can change these shapes with the Shape Builder tool. So now, let's see, I'll move this over a little bit, and with the Shape Builder tool, I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt on a PC or Shift and Option on a Mac and drag it, the circle to the right, to make a copy of it. And I'm following my smart guides, and there I've got another circle. So now I want to get my rectangle tool and add a rectangle over these two circles. And I want to draw a rectangle that begins and ends at the center, top and bottom of each circle. I'm using my smart guides to help me do that. And there's my rectangle. Now I'll go back to the Shaper tool, and I'll click somewhere in a blank area of the artboard to deselect this shape. And now I'll move my pointer to the left of the shapes and scribble across the circle shape, stopping just after the left edge of the rectangle to remove that part of the shape. So there, I just scribble up just until I get past that line of the horizontal rectangle. So there, it removed that part of the shape, leaving just that part of the circle that was there originally. Now I'm going to move my pointer to the circle on the right and just click and scribble to the left there to remove the rest of that shape. And there we've got the shape that we want. Now we can easily edit this shape. So I'm going to click on that shape with my Shape Builder tool. And then I'm going to click that little widget on the right there. That's the Shaper group. And that will allow me to edit it. And we can see the various shapes that make up the single shape. And I'm going to click the stroke of the left circle to select it. And then I'll press Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC and drag the right middle bounding point to the left to make the circle a little narrower. That's not quite what I wanted to do here. Let me undo that. I'll select the stroke. And I'll hold down Alt or Option and drag to the left. And that will make the edge of that shape a little narrower. See how I'm moving the circle out like that? So it's made kind of an ellipse out of the circle, which is just what I want. And I'll press Escape to stop editing these individual shapes. And now I'll select the shape and I'll change the fill to a light gray and a stroke of none. Make sure the fill box is forward in my stroke panel and I'll choose the lightest gray in there. Then I'll bring my stroke forward and click None. And that's going to be the sail of our little boat here that we made. Pretty basic shapes. So I'm going to move that sail over to the boat. It's a little bit big, so I'll use one of the corner bounding controls to make it smaller. And I'll move it over to the mast of our boat, and it becomes our sail. So there we go. That was an interesting little bit with the Shaper tool, a really interesting and fun tool to use.